This is Dan Dix here reporting for Press for Truth. We are in a world where political correctness has gone absolutely crazy. We got people virtue signaling all over the place, and this is now seeping its way into the cannabis community. So joining me here today is the one and only Chad Jackett of Liberty Farms and Grassroots Medicinal. Now, we're going to clear the air today about this recent article that just came out. A councillor to stop using the word marijuana says term has racist connotations. Now, Chad, what can you tell us first of all, before we deal with the PC issue-ness of this article? What can you tell us about just the origins of the terms marijuana versus cannabis and why someone might want to think about using one term over the other?
Well, sure. The origins of the word marijuana did come from the government. It's a statist term, you know. I wouldn't necessarily say it's racist. Maybe it had some racist connotations back in the day. They're trying to, it's all the divide and conquer thing. Oh, there's scary people on this side of the fence versus this one. But I really think it's just an inaccurate term is really the main, main thing here. I mean, it's not marijuana. That's actually the term for it's called a Mexican cigarette or Mexican tobacco, I believe. So
that's probably where they're getting these ideas of racism, that saying that this is going to be used to discriminate against Mexicans, or...
Yeah, I guess. But the thing is what they're trying to say is back in the day that they tried to demonize the plant by saying, it's coming from across the border and the Mexicans are bringing it in. It's marijuana and all that stuff, So it was maybe a bit of a racist thing back then, or just like a fear thing. Fear something. Fear anything. It doesn't matter what it is. Just so that the government can be there to protect you and, then prohibit something and, make a lot of money off of the prohibition of it and locking people up and all that stuff. So I don't think that there's any one race that is, not, subject to these laws, though. So everybody is feeling the pinch from, the government's laws around marijuana or, cannabis.
Right.
So I think it's a statist term. It is an inaccurate term, and it's against all of us, not just one color or creed. It's something that I think they tried to demonize all of us with, because the white people on the other side of the border, not that they were all white either, but the people on the other side of the border in the United States, they were the ones also having to suffer from the prohibition from it. So I mean, on all sides, nobody's benefiting from prohibition or from these false terms.
Yeah. So racism was used as an excuse to crack down on certain people, and it still is today. But that ultimately still came from the government, right? So it's not that it's a racist term. It's still it's the state ultimately that is the problem, right?
It's still another statist term. And the government has all different colors, and government and states are a wicked, ginormous gang. They're a big gang that only is around because of your stolen tax dollars that they're able to keep going. And in order to steal your tax dollars, they need certain things to put in the media that fears certain people. Like, oh, there's this plant and it's really dangerous, and we got to protect you from it. Therefore, we need more of your money. And it's just all BS.
A lot of the true racism actually comes from the government. A lot of people don't know that, like Rosa Parks, for example, when she refused to sit on the back of the bus, for example, some people are saying, why? How could that bus driver, that white man, go along with that? Well, it was the law. This was mandated by the state. He was following orders, essentially. Right. It was a part of the law at the time.
Yep.
So really, the state is the problem. It's not racism. It's not, and in this article that we touched on earlier, it goes on to say we need to be more progressive with the term cannabis. So it's not about being PC. It's just about not being fooled by the state, right?
And it's about using accurate terms. And
right.
I mean, if you want to be protected from things like dangerous herbs that they claim are dangerous, the best thing for you to do, for any individual, for anybody out there to do, is to educate yourself on these things, not to hand a bunch of money over to some bureaucracy that's going to say, oh yeah, well, we'll help you by beating up everybody that has this, throwing them in cages, taking everything they have, and that's it.
That's the bottom line right now, folks. Trudeau, who promised legalization, is still jailing people right now. To this day, people are still being placed in prison simply for this plant, and it needs to stop. And that comes with the end of prohibition in general. So, Chad, you're leading one of the causes to help make that happen and move in a direction where it needs to go. Tell the folks where they can go to get involved with the Cannabis Growers of Canada and everything you guys are doing.
So you can go to cannagrowers.ca to check out what we're doing with Canna Growers. We're online as well on Facebook. We've got a page on there. You can check us out, Cannabis Growers of Canada.
Picture like a cannabis community lobbyist who's going to go up against the government to represent the home growers who want true legalization that's going to benefit the people. Sorry to I don't want to put the words in your mouth, but that's how I've always thought it.
No, and that's exactly what it is. And you know, it's the people have to unite. That's the main thing, is because you can have all the organizations in the world, but unless everybody gets behind one and says, you know what, we're doing this, and we're proud of our industry, and you know, we're organized, you just seem very scattered. And to be honest with you, there's nothing wrong with individuals being able to be independent people, but at times those individuals have to come together for certain causes so that they look organized and they look like they actually have their shit together to get some stuff done. You know, and you know, we at the Cannabis Growers of Canada are really getting our shit together. So I hope that more people join us out there and help with that. And you know, it's about really raising a lot of awareness right now. Talking to every government official you can possibly get your hands on, letting them know the lies around cannabis, letting them know the benefits of having it within your local communities and grown within your local communities, and also distributed and you know, produced by people that actually care about the plant and have been in the industry for over 20 years, a lot of the people, and you know, some of them way longer than that. So I mean, it's one of those things, you know, we got to be proud of what we've built. And cannabis, the cannabis industry here in British Columbia was not built by a bunch of bureaucrats. And you know, it was a lot of blood, sweat and tears, a lot of work to build what we've done here. And the name BC Bud is world renowned. It's known all over the place. And you know, so we can't just let that go to the wayside. We can't let the government that has, you know, had their thumb on us for so many years benefit from that name and give it to their crony capitalist friends or their crony socialist friends, or whatever you want to call it. It's a mess. Yeah. So you know, we've got to stand with one another. We've got to stand with our communities, and if we don't help one another out, then who are we going to help out?
Folks, if you want to see cannabis legalization move in the direction that it really needs to go here in Canada, please check the links in the description to where you can join at Cannabis Growers of Canada and Liberty Farms and Grassroots Medicinal.ca. Chad Jackett, thanks so much for talking to us.
Hey, thanks for having me again.